What is happening, fellow Cobras? Welcome back to the Strike First podcast. If this is your first time with us and you love CobraKai and KarateKid, consider joining the dojo today by following my Instagram at Strike First Podcast and hitting the red subscribe button below. Today, we'll be discussing possible CobraKai series spin-offs that fans want to see. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I think the big three creators of CobraKai, John, Josh, and Hayden, are three of the most creative people I have ever seen before. They just know how to write a good story that is able to allow us to laugh, feel nostalgic, keep us on the edge of our seats, relate to the characters' emotions throughout the show, and much, much more. But unfortunately, more of us need to come to the realization that CobraKai will not last forever. We want the show to be done right and not dragged on more than it needs to be. But having these three creative geniuses at the helm makes me excited for the life after CobraKai in the ways of spin-offs that they have talked about doing multiple times in the past. And fortunately, I've come across three ideas that I think would make for the best spin-off shows in the KarateKid and CobraKai universe. So let's get right into it. After being introduced in Season 3 of CobraKai, it was easily made known that Chozen is now one of the most interesting and popular characters in the entire franchise. If the creators somehow made it possible to make a series on what he's been doing for the past 30 plus years since we've seen him last, or just what his day-to-day life is now, would definitely make for a solid spin-off. And I personally would like to just explore Chozen more as a character now that he's changed, and to see how he does things differently than his Karate Kid 2 self in more depth. I think we'd be able to see him do a multitude of different things, like teaching his class and learning what the primary philosophies this class abides by, and being back in Okinawa would just be an amazing experience with the culture, way of life, and karate compared to America. Chozen brought a whole different dynamic to the third season of CobraKai, and I think Chozen is more than worthy of having his own show and separate storyline than his story in CobraKai. I definitely feel like the popularity will be there, not quite to the level of CobraKai, but I definitely feel there will be a good enough audience who will watch that show and make it a success. Now, this is the only one among the three that I would consider as a stretch, because we already have story arcs for characters like Sam, Miguel, Tori, Robbie, Hawk, and Dimitri, and among many others, and it would just be very unlikely for them all to be in the same place after high school. And after CobraKai, it is more than likely that the actors will all want to branch out and try new different roles for their careers, as we've seen many of their careers skyrocket from CobraKai, like Tanner Buchanan and Xolo Maridueña. But I definitely think it would be interesting to see them all transition to the next stage of their lives as they go from kids to adults, and how they could use karate now that they'll be a bit older and the new challenges they'll encounter. Because we've watched these actors and characters grow up on this show, and a majority of us will want to see what happens next for them. I'm not really sure how the writers could go about writing this type of spin-off in terms of specifics, but if they were to choose this idea, I'm confident they would turn it into a success and people would tune in to watch it. Now this one right here is probably what most people want to see, myself included. My ideal Mr. Miyagi spin-off series would consist of his life in Okinawa, starting off as a young child, his father teaching him the amazing life lessons we know from him today, along with his family karate. We would see Mr. Miyagi grow up into his teenage years and eventually into a young man, to see how he became friends with Sato and their relationship and journey together through karate. We could also see his love develop for Yukie and the rift between him and Sato that would cause Miyagi to leave Okinawa by boat and head for the US. And of course, it is unfortunate that the late great Pat Morita is no longer with us and could not do the role. So I think the next best choice to play young Miyagi would be none other than Steven Yeun, who played Glenn in the Walking Dead television series. I just think he's the right actor for the role in terms of looks and acting skills needed to make this spin-off a success. With a character like Mr. Miyagi that so many of us hold near and dear to our hearts, it needs to be made sure that this spin-off is done right by the character of Mr. Miyagi and Pat Morita himself. But I'm confident that if the big three are behind it, they will give this character justice just like they do in the CobraKai series, because they care so much about the entire franchise, its characters, and its fans above all else. But with that being said, guys, that'll do it for this episode. Be sure to let me know down low in the comment section your thoughts on these three pitches for possible CobraKai spin-off shows, and give me any ideas you may have on what you want to see. As always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a like and hit that subscribe button if you want to stay updated on CobraKai and KarateKid content. It really helps out the channel, and especially since we're less than 100 subs away from 1,000 subscribers, if you continue to keep coming back to my channel, make sure you press subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.